Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Bowdabra Monday Night Live. I'd like to thank all of you for joining me this evening. Tonight, we're going to do about 6 or 7 projects using basic bows. I'm going to show you how to do the shoelace bow and also how to use mesh in the Bowdabra. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to take my Bowdabra. I'm going to take a piece of our Bowdabra bow wire, and I'm going to fold it in half, lay it down into my Bowdabra, and I'm just going to tuck the ends underneath so they stay out of my way. And we'll go ahead to the overhead camera. Hi, Joe. And now what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to make a shoelace bow. So I'm going to take my rainbow ribbon and lay this down in here, and take my shoelace bow, and we've already dovetailed the ends on this. So I'm just going to take the right side of the ribbon, lay that downwards, and I'm going to fold this back over. And do the same thing on the other side, and just make sure my loops are the same length, which they're not. So we're going to make this one a little longer and this one a little longer there. So now they're the same length. And I'm going to take this here and bring this down. Hi, Alicia and Jan and Joe. Thanks, everybody, for joining and commenting. I love it when you guys join me for my Monday Night Lives. And then I'm going to take some of our Chicago ribbon. We used to call this a honeycomb or punchinello ribbon. Does anybody know why it was called punchinello? I'll answer that question in just a minute, but I want to give you guys a chance to answer. If anybody knows. And I'm just going to pull it here, pull it out of my Bowdabra, separate the ends, bring it around to the back. Does nobody know what the punchinello ribbon's made out of? Well, I will tell you then. It's made out of sequins. It's the remnant from sequins, and it used to be very cheap to get, but then it became so popular that it got more expensive to buy. But I love it. I think it's so pretty. And now we'll go back to the front camera. And you can see how pretty this was and how simple. And it's really just using scraps of ribbon is how you can make your shoelace bow. So I'm going to take this and put this aside. And we're going to make another shoelace bow. I'm going to take another piece of my Bowdabra bow wire. And fold it in half. Lay this down into my Bowdabra and tuck the ends underneath. And we're going to do a shoelace bow. So again, what I'm going to do is fold this in half, take the right side of the ribbon, put that down into my Bowdabra, go back over here to the overhead camera, and I'm going to make my loop and fold this one over here. And again, I'm just going to check and make sure my loops are the same length, which they are. And we're going to do another shoelace bow. Fold this in half, lay it down into the Bowdabra, and bring it back over here. So this is a great way to use longer pieces of ribbon that you may not want to you may not like throw out, but you may not have a use for them as far as making regular bows, but you can make the shoelace bows with them. And again, I'm just going to fold this back over and do the same thing on this side. And we've got one more shoelace to do. And don't forget, we have over 1,000 videos on our YouTube channel. And we have literally thousands of tutorials at Bowdabra.com. And I'm just going to finish this off with what we call a circular bow. So I'll take the right side of the ribbon, lay that down in there. Again, take the right side of the ribbon, lay it down, go to the center. Whoops, don't want that popping out on me. Go to the center and scrunch that down. Give everything a good push with my Bowdabra wand. I'm using about 1.5 yards, Noreen. This is a 1.5 inch width ribbon, and this is a 2.5 inch width ribbon. So I'll try to remember to give you the measurements. I don't normally measure, so I always forget to give the measurements because I just sort of do it by ear. And I'm just going to tie this off and tie a knot. And this just makes a very simple, a very simple bow. But you can see I didn't use that much ribbon, but it looks like there's a lot of ribbon in here, which is what's great about these shoelace bows. So I'll put this one aside. And now I'm going to take my silver Bowdabra bow wire and make a pretty pink bow. And don't forget to share your creations on our Facebook fan gallery. It's free to join. We just like you to fill out the questionnaire. There's like 3 questions, but it's just basically so we know you're not a bot. And now I'm going to just take this here. And I've got about 1.5 yards of a 21-inch wide mesh. And bring this back down in here. And actually, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger on this side. Actually, I'm going to make this loop a little bit bigger. Make this one, there we go. So let me know where you're watching from tonight. I give everything a good scrunch with my wand. So I think the mesh makes very pretty bows. And again, we're going to do our shoelace bow. So I'll take the center, lay that down in here. Lay this down in here. Hi, Gloria. We haven't seen you in a while. And again, we're going to do another shoelace bow. So I'll fold it in half, find the center. And lay this down here. And we'll finish it off with one more shoelace bow. Fold this over here. Gloria's watching from Ohio. And we have our little rose here, fabric rose. I love these. They're so pretty, these burlap roses. Everything a good scrunch. Pull everything, pull the wire through the slip knot. Pull it tight while it's still in the Bowdabra. We have Indiana in the house. And Arkansas. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Gloria. And just try to hide this stem underneath the ribbon. There we go, underneath our tails. And you can see how pretty this comes out. Not pretty, and it was so simple to make. Put this aside. I'll put that down here. And we've got a mini lantern swag we're going to make next. So I'll take, since I've got my black and my gray, I'm going to use my silver Bowdabra bow wire, cut a piece. And we have Pittsburgh. Thanks, everybody, for letting me know where you're watching from. So how are you guys doing on the East Coast with this big storm? I hear it's absolutely awful. Take these pieces of greenery and lay those down into the Bowdabra. And I'm just going to take my tails, lay those down. And I'm just going to do a twist and fold. Memphis. Thanks for letting me know where you're all watching from. And just folding and twisting. Fold and twist. And I think I have enough for one more loop here. A little bit smaller. We're going to finish it off with our black. This is my favorite new ribbon because it's all sparkly and shiny, but it doesn't shed glitter. Put the little flower in the middle. Everything a good scrunch. Boise, Idaho is too warm. So, yeah, my mom lives up in Colorado and they've just been praying for snow. They've just finally started getting some snow so that people can ski. But it's been a pretty mild winter. We'll puff this out here, fluff it. And I'll grab my little lantern. Oh, it looks like my flower fell off. Let's put that back on there. There we go. And grab my wire. And we'll just tie this onto our onto our lantern. And we have New Mexico and Pittsburgh. And you can see how pretty that came out. So really easy. It didn't use a lot of ribbon, but it comes out very pretty. So we'll put this aside. And grab more of my projects. Can't believe we're almost to St. Patrick's Day. So if you're in the New England area, how much snow did the blizzard snow on you? It's been pretty bad all over the East Coast or the Northeast. Lay this down in here. And we'll take our greenery, just lay that down. Lay this here. Lay that down in there. This will be a nice little swag. Take some more of our Chicago ribbon, which I used to call the Punchinello ribbon, and now you guys know how it's made. And take this tail here, lay this down in here. And we're just going to do a fold and twist bow. And twist. And fold and twist. Actually, this ribbon, you probably don't have to twist because it's the same on both sides, but I'm going to twist it because I've said before I like how it shapes better when I fold and twist. And then I have my St. Patrick's Day pretty shamrock ribbon. And we'll fold and twist. And just fold and twist. And don't forget to check out our Bowdabra fan gallery. And share with your friends that we do our Facebook Lives on Monday nights. We might move the day around. If you guys have a day that you prefer other than Mondays, write it in the comments. Because sometimes Mondays aren't great for everybody, or would you rather us do this later or earlier? And just scrunch that down in there. Take my Bowdabra bow wire. Pull that through. Tight while it's still in the Bowdabra. Pull it out. Separate my ends. Bring it around to the back. Tie a knot. And just shape and fluff this out. Fluffing is either your favorite part or your most frustrating part. We have Jeanette from Florida. Hi, Jeanette. And now you can see what a pretty swag. And we didn't use that much ribbon, just a little bit, and it makes a beautiful swag. So I'm going to go ahead and put that aside. And now I'm going to make what we call a scrap bow. It could also be a wreath bow. Lay this down into my Bowdabra and just tuck the ends underneath. Go ahead to the overhead camera. And we've got a mixture of our moo ribbon and some burlap. Thank you. Thank you all so much for watching and for staying with me for the whole live. It means a lot when you do that and take time from your Monday evening to join me. Move. So again, this is a great use of scraps of ribbon. So I know we all have these little pieces of ribbon and we never know what to do with them. This is getting pretty thick because of the burlap. And I'm just going to take this and lay this down. And we just knotted the ends. So again, we're just going to make a shoelace ribbon. And take some corker ribbon, lay that down in on top. Everything a good scrunch. And separate my ribbon while it's still in the Bowdabra. Bring it around to the back. Tie it pretty tight. That's what's great about this wire is you can tie it really tight. So Joette's asking, which Bowdabra do you own, the mini one or the regular one? And we can just pull everything in opposite directions. And what you can see here, I think you can see here. There we go. You can see how pretty this looks with all the different ribbons in it. It's a super, super easy way to use up your scraps of ribbon. So now I have one more big project to do, and then I'll make some bows for you. So I'm going to grab this over here. Put that over there. And I'm going to take my silver Bowdabra bow wire. Now you can buy the Bowdabra bow wire at everything you can buy at Bowdabra.com or at Hobby Lobby or on Amazon. I'm just going to lay this down in here. And just going to roll this a little bit and just scrunch it in. And I think I've got about a yard of my mesh here. Roll that down there. And then lay my florals and my greenery. Actually, I think I want the greenery going the opposite direction. Nope, it's that way. Okay, have the greenery in there and my flowers. And I have my snowflake ribbon. I'm just going to have some tails hanging down here. And now I'm going to do another shoelace bow. So I'm just going to go like this, putting the right side in. Thank you. Yeah, I love the wire too. I love how it's so strong. Lay that down in here, and then we're going to do another shoelace bow. Lay that down. And then I'm just going to finish it off with a scrunchy bow using my snowflake ribbon. And I figured with all the snow back east, it was appropriate to use snowflake ribbon for this project tonight. And Give everything a good scrunch. Oh, I lost my wire. There it is. Pull everything tight while it's still in the Bowdabra. Pull it out. I'm going to separate my ends. Bring it around to the back. Tie a knot. And sort of form our little scrunchie in the middle into a little flower. Separate out my loops. Pull the ribbon down and show this to you from the front. You can see how pretty. Oh, I forgot. I was going to put this on a wreath. So let me grab my wreath frame. And grab my wire. It's a good thing I cut it long enough, barely long enough to tie it around here. So, but we cheat when I'm doing this, what I'll do is just twist the wire because the wire will hold, and then I can just knot it. And there you have this beautiful, let's get that so you can see it in the camera, this beautiful wreath. So thanks everybody so much. Oh, let me do one more bow. I have these two really pretty ribbons, which I thought I would use. Hi, Sapphire. Sapphire's like, are we done yet? Sapphire is my Siberian Husky. And she's white and she would be perfect in the snow back east. We've had snow in the mountains around Las Vegas, but we haven't had any like real snow. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to do a double fold and twist bow. So I'm just going to twist it and fold it back. And fold and twist. And I guess this is why everybody turns their Bowdabra, which I don't do. So I'm just going to struggle with this a little bit. I would pre-cut it. Let's go ahead and cut this. And let's cut this one the same length. That'll make it a little easier to do. Okay, so now just going to fold. And what's nice about doing a double one with the Bowdabra is it holds everything in place. It's like a third hand. And I like the way the doubles shape out versus when you do it stacked. Let's go ahead and go to the overhead. I would guess that these strips are about a yard long. And we'll just finish this here. Take my wire, everything a good scrunch. Because you don't need quite as much ribbon when you're doing a double loop bow. And I'll just tie this off. I'm glad you guys love your Bowdabras. It means a lot to me. We've been around a long time. And I love that you join me on Monday nights for this Bowdabra Live. And we'll just dovetail these two little ends here. And you can see how pretty that came out. And I want to thank you. I cannot believe how fast time goes by. Let me just show you really quickly what we've made tonight. We made our St. Patrick's Day swag. We also made our pretty pink bow. Our pretty burlap bow. I love this burlap with the dots on it. And then we have our scrap bow that we made. And of course, this one that we just made, the last one we just made. And then our wreath and our rainbow ribbon and our lantern swag. So I want to thank all you guys so much for joining me, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.